Hello, and welcome to this presentation about the Master of Education eLearning and Instructional Design program. My name is Gail Matthews-DeNatale, and I'm the concentration lead for the eLearning and Instructional Design concentration. I have almost 20 years of experience in the field as a developer of online and mobile resources. Now, in that time, I've seen a lot of changes. This is a particularly exciting juncture for me and for others in the profession because the tools have become increasingly easy to use and we have a wealth of resources available to us. But there's one catch. Technology does not automatically enhance learning. So for e-learning to succeed, it needs to be thoughtfully designed and creatively implemented. In other words, it's not about the technology, it's about the design. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to begin with an overview of the settings and the professions in which instructional designers, e-learning designers find themselves. I'm going to talk a little bit about the future of e-learning, and then I'm going to turn it around to our program, looking at eLID's mission, curriculum, and design. We'll wrap it all up by talking a little bit about our program's distinctiveness. This is the mission statement for the e-learning program. You'll notice defining features that we're future-oriented and that our program prepares people for a range of work settings: corporate, nonprofit, higher education, K-12, and government. Our program, eLearning and Instructional Design, would help prepare you for a position as an instructional designer. But I want you to think twice about that because instructional designers have many different job titles. These are just a few. What's in a name? This is another indicator of the many opportunities and doors that open up for people who have certifications or degrees in this field. We also often work in partnership with educators and subject matter experts because most people don't have this background and therefore they need our help in this process. I encourage you to search job boards for people who have these kinds of titles, and you'll see the rich range of settings, the variety of work, and also some of the skills and capabilities that you need to succeed in this kind of work. In January 2013, Diana Oblinger, and she's the president of EDUCAUSE, which is the main organization for technology and higher education, she made the remarks that you see on this screen. Her point was in the early days of online learning, this format allowed people to transmit information faster, cheaper, sometimes even better. Now, we've moved far beyond that. We're in a different kind of age, an age in which everybody can find everything, and therefore, the challenge is to help people make the best kinds of connections with their learning, with their materials. And so we took Diana's words as a call to action, and we set out to build a future-oriented program that equips professionals to usher in this connected future. We canvassed leading professionals in the field. We talked with education visionaries, all with the goal of creating a state-of-the-art program that is designed to help you have the tools that you need, not just to succeed within your given profession, but to also help shape the future of the profession. So in the information age that Diana referred to, learning was very directed. The teacher was the expert, and the learners were the receptacles into which knowledge was poured. As such, educators were responsible for what they provided. The goal was delivery of course materials, delivery of lectures. Lecture-driven is a great strategy and primary strategy for inputting knowledge. The teacher-student relationship was, in this framework, much more of a monologue. The teacher talked, the student listened, the teacher might question the learner afterwards. And following that, assessment was academic. Work led to quizzes or tests or term papers. Now let's compare that with the connected age. In the connected age, as Diana says, knowledge is everywhere. And because knowledge is everywhere, learners need mentoring and guidance in how to access, evaluate, and use it. We're also no longer just responsible for what we tell people. We're also responsible for what people learn. And because we're responsible for what people learn, we have expanded our range of methods. We have a multimodal toolkit, and yes, lectures are one part of that toolkit, but there are many, many, many other ways of engaging learners. Lots of decisions go into selecting the best tools and the best strategies for the particular learning scenario. Learning is also social within this framework. It's a dialogue that includes peers and even people outside the program. Even in the context of self-paced learning, people want to know that they're a part of something larger. As opposed to tests and other kinds of quizzes, we're now talking about assessments that are authentic, that allow people to put the things that they've learned into practice within real-world scenarios. So in a world of connected learning, there are many, many, many decisions to make. Learning design is the process of making wise decisions to create effective and engaging opportunities for learning. So, if learning is equal parts art and science, the art is the selection, is the thinking about the design piece. The science is understanding how people learn, and the tremendous amount of research that has recently come out that is revolutionizing what we understand about what's happening in the brain when people are learning. Then we, by extension, need to be equal parts artist and scientist. So if all you do is record your lectures and put them online, you don't need the eye of an artist. If all you do is test and quiz, you don't need to know about the latest research when you create trainings, courses, and programs. Professional expertise is enough. But if you want to move out of the information age and into the connected age, you will need much more than that if you want to keep pace with change, innovate, and help shape the future. This is where the competencies or capabilities that we've identified through our conversations with experts and leaders in the field come into play. In addition to having professional expertise, they told us that the people they hire need to be systems thinkers, communicators, creative problem solvers, and to be culturally responsive in creating materials that operate within a globally connected society. How do we do this? The cohesive curriculum that we've designed helps develop and refine the capabilities that you saw in the previous slide. We'll get into the curriculum a little bit more in terms of details, but before we move into that part of the specifics, I'd really like to talk about the nature of the experience. You may or may not have experience teaching or learning in a fully online environment. And because our program is fully online, you may be wondering what that will feel like when you're taking our courses. We believe that online learning should be fruitful, engaging, connected, and personal. So as Angelica, a graduate of the master's program, says, our program is designed to help you dream big, then to provide you with the tools and support you need to achieve your professional dreams. Our mission is to anticipate and shape the future of next generation in a technology-rich, globally connected society. This is a dynamic mission. We're invested in helping all types of learners, young and old, in all types of settings, corporate, school-based, and self-paced. And we also invested in helping you reach out to connect with the resources, ideas, and other learners and experts. Because if we reach out and we model the best practice with you, you'll be in a better position to create dynamic and engaging learning experiences for the learners with whom you work. So let's take a look at this curriculum. This visual serves as a metaphor for the program. The blue circles are clouds of the content, concepts, skills, and theory, the formal curriculum. The triangles I like to think are the forest through which you'll journey, the professional work in which you'll put your learning into practice. At the bedrock underlying all of this is the e-portfolio. This is a space that you'll use throughout your program to document and reflect upon this journey. You'll hear more about that later, but the e-portfolio provides continuity. It's the ground that supports your passage. You'll use it to make connections between school and work. As you begin your journey, you'll take some courses that provide you with a fundamental orientation and preparation. So, for example, the first course is called Education as an Advanced Field of Study. You'll learn how to access the latest research to keep your finger on the pulse of recent developments in the field, and you'll learn how to use this research to improve your practice. In the second course, called How People Learn, you'll take a look at those program competencies we were talking about before: systems thinker, communicator, creative problem solver. And you're going to consider your strengths and your opportunities for growth. And you get to develop your own professional learning plan that you will carry out and implement throughout the rest of the program. This self-assessment shines a light, helping you focus on the areas that will yield the most benefit for you in your professional situation. About a third of the way through your program, you'll take a course entitled Connecting Theory with Practice. You'll review your portfolio of work. You'll consider what you've learned about e-learning research and theory. You'll work with your faculty and an employer to develop an experiential learning plan for a significant piece of work to complete as your biggest accomplishment in the program. You may elect to do this with your current employer, or we will help you connect with a professional setting in which you can do this work. For the last 2/3 of the program, you'll continue to take courses, but you'll also carry out your experiential work independently within the workplace for the duration of the program in parallel with your other courses. But it won't be totally on you. You won't be totally on your own. You'll document this work in your e-portfolio. We will hold periodic virtual gatherings to share work, discuss discoveries, and consider the challenges with both peers and faculty and receive feedback. You'll be doing this in conjunction with your faculty, mentors, and also in a cohort of peers, learning alongside each other as you put your ideas and your learning into action. During the capstone course, you'll bring it all together. You'll present the fruits of your labor to others. You'll present your experiential learning work to your peers, to your faculty, to your employers, and because you have the e-portfolio to work with, you can present it to the public if you choose to. Now let's get back to that learning portfolio. Our portfolio process is designed to help you synthesize the formative work, that work that you do during the learning part of your program, and bring it to bear toward the end in a showcase portfolio. With the guidance of faculty and peer employer feedback, this portfolio process helps you transform your work into a professional online presence. It showcases your capabilities and increases your opportunities for professional employment or professional advancement. So I like to think at Northeastern we have our head in the clouds and our feet on the ground. This allows us to be able to do real things while we also anticipate the future and demonstrate our capacity to be leaders in next generation learning. We think our program is visionary and innovative, a new approach for a new era of e-learning, but others do too. The presentation of our curriculum received the prestigious Best in Track Award for Learning Effectiveness from the Sloan C International Conference on Online Learning. So that's an overview of the curriculum in general, but what about the day-to-day work that you'll be doing? Let's take a look at some of the defining features of the coursework. We mentioned earlier that authentic work is a hallmark of learning in a connected age, but how does that play out in e-learning and instructional design? Well, in addition to the professional learning plan and the workplace-based experiential learning, you can expect to create examples of e-learning, to develop case studies of e-learning in action, to make professional connections through interviews with thought leaders in the field, and to do many, many other forms of work that are authentic, real to the profession, things that you will work with faculty to continue to refine so that by the end of the program, the work samples that you have to offer are not just coursework, they are professional work. Now, you've heard me refer to the e-portfolios, and I want to talk about what they are. E-portfolios are equal parts tool and process. As a tool, it's a web space to store your work, and it's a place where you journal about what you're learning and assess your development as you look at the work that you've done. But e-portfolios are also a process. It's a process that's a method for putting learning into action and for drawing on that experience to improve learning. Now, Travis who's a former student in our program, attests to the power of this method. He explains that it allowed him to make connections and get more out of the program. But what does an e-portfolio look like? Because it's developed over time, you have plenty of opportunities to experiment with the format and look. And if you don't already know very much about technology, we can work with you to develop your skills to create something that is not only substantive, but beautiful. As Stephanie says, the ePortfolio process provides you with an opportunity to bring your learning to life, to communicate your ideas in an engaging combination of words, images, video, and social media. We've also designed the e-learning program in such a way that you can bring your academic learning into the workplace and the workplace into your academic learning, particularly lifelong learning and learning within global contexts. You have an opportunity to make a significant difference. As Michael says, the master's program work is helping him work with his institution to rethink how they approach education. You won't just come out of this with a credential, you'll come out of this with the capacity to help change and improve the institutions in which you work. Now, we recognize that many of you might be in transition. Perhaps you're attracted to our program because you're between jobs, or you're seeking to advance or move into a new position within the place that you work. Well, our program is designed to meet these goals and needs with that professional journey in mind. So as Rachel says, when you complete your learning in our program, it will continue to bear fruit because the real work assignments that you've done can be transformed into polished professional work and can be used sometimes immediately within your workplace, even before you graduate. As Rachel observes, it's a valuable tool for those who are looking to advance within their field or those who are looking to transition into a new profession. But you may be wondering what the students who are from our program, how they experience not just the curriculum, but the type of engagement that they have with their faculty. This is just a sampling of recent comments made in course evaluations. And as you look at this text, you'll see some recurring themes. Themes that talk about us caring about your learning and growth. Themes about us having a personal connection. Themes about being in a connected, networked, and supportive community of professionals. One in which your needs are attended to and your concerns and cares and perspectives are treated with utmost respect. So to sum it all up, let's take a look at our distinctiveness. Solid foundation of an understanding of how people learn, a vision for the future and the emerging trends in the field of online and mobile learning design, a blend of practical and theoretical learning, and opportunities for you to bring this understanding to life in professional settings. Now, we've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time, so please don't hesitate to drop me a line or give me a call if you have additional questions about this exciting program. You can also feel free to use the contact information on this slide to get in touch with admissions for information on enrolling in the program. Thanks for your time, and I hope to see you again sometime online in the near future.